shameless plug incoming. Today's episode is brought to you by markshirts.com. Find your new favorite t-shirt today. Pre-recorded from Vulpit Studios, it's the Cult of MCS1 podcast, featuring Caleb and now your host, MCS1.
Welcome everyone to an exciting episode of the Cult of MCS1 podcast. I am MCS1, and I am joined with my dear compadre, BFF, and fave co-host, Caleb Hannon. What up, Caleb?
Oh, just living the dream over here, Mark. Just
Living a dream?
Living the dream, being a jackass and hoping it pays someday.
That's the dream I aspire to. I mean, I'm only doing part of it, and it's the part that doesn't pay.
I'm just hoping that it will someday.
Okay. Oh man. So today we have a super friggin' special show, and I am so pumped about this. And it's taken us a while to finally record this to get Caleb and I's schedules to match up. But we wanted to make this an awesome show, and we've been talking about it for weeks, to be honest. Just little comments here and there, to be honest. It's not like we spent weeks preparing for this. I mean, we spent a couple days preparing.
Yeah, a couple. I was gonna say, I mean, definitely at least a couple days.
Yeah, we spent a couple days preparing, not weeks or whatever. I think in our little chat server that we have, I think we spent we spent quite a bit of time just ripping on this.
Well, absolutely. Okay. How could we not?
So today's episode, once again, man, I kind of I feel happy, but I also feel dead inside every time I bring this up. So we're continuing our Happy Valley Hate series.
Happy Valley Hate.
And, we're going to be talking once again about vidangel. The streaming company that edits movies and all this other stuff. And for those that don't know, we covered this before back when we had the MCS1 show. And we covered it we have about 3 different shows for this as well.
Right.
And we're going to recap a little bit. We're not going to go too much into what we've talked about on those shows because that's why we have those shows. But we're going to give a nice enough recap for those who are listening for the first time, for those who haven't listened in a while, to understand exactly what is going on with vidangel. So, vidangel from the start to where we are now. So, short recap. So, tons of other companies that created filtering services for rated R or questionable movies, questionable PG-13, PG, or even some G movies.
Listen, if you don't edit Bambi, it's a little violent.
Yeah, I know, seriously. And so, oddly enough, Bambi, my favorite Disney movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. Anyway,
why is it your favorite? Just curious.
I don't even have an answer. I just like it. But
fair enough.
Lots of these companies, these editing companies, they always get sued by Hollywood and go under. One example of this is there was a documentary. It used to be on Netflix, and the documentary was called Clean Flicks.
And I remember that.
Yeah, it was my favorite documentary of all time that I've ever seen. It's just amazing. It's super well done, and it basically paints a hero, a villain, all this type of stuff. It's super cool. So for those that don't know, Clean Flicks was a video editing company, which is kind of why we're discussing it, that was based in Happy Valley, Utah, just like vidangel is.
Weird.
And I know, it seems to be the thing to do. And as Clean Flicks was around, there were tons of other companies that were also around, and they also went under, and tons of other things. I mean, it's worth checking out the documentary. It is insanely good. And so with these video editing services, even though they've all gone under, vidangel's despite all the obvious evidence of this being a bad idea, we're special. So we're going to be exempt from the law, and we're going to start up our own filtering service and do the type of shit that these guys were doing.
Oh boy.
And so they launched advertised as a streaming and edited video rental service. And that was vidangel's kind of, I don't want to say niche, but that was their new spin on this. Like
Right.
before with the video editing companies, they were always like DVDs or Blu-ray type of thing. But this time they're being streamed. And so um what VidAngel did wasn't really exactly streaming.
Oh,
They were doing more of digitally selling the movies, and
Something
then
like
they
iTunes, yeah.
yeah, and they would buy them back for like $1 less. And then you would have like all this VidAngel credit, which is kind of like Disney dollars, except you can only
They're
use
like
like
Krusty Land. They're like regular dollars, only they're fun.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that. Only it's like regular dollars, only it's not fun, and you can only use it on their website type of thing. And we'll get into the VidAngel bucks soon. And so VidAngel they buy their movies back for like $1 less. So it's like, oh, you got to rent a movie for $1. And that was like kind of their slogan on some of their stuff. It's like rent movies for only a bleeping dollar. And they just thought they were super cool with that. So the problem with this is what was breaking the streaming terms from Hollywood and big companies like I don't know Disney, Fox,
Yeah.
and all these other companies. And
Mainly Disney. They're the only real company anymore, right?
yeah, exactly.
yeah, dude.
For the sake of ease with all the companies involved in like these lawsuits, we're just going to call it Hollywood because it's
Sure.
always big Hollywood trying to keep the you know the edited man down or something. I don't know. So, but this model of not exactly streaming movies and doing this selling them as they're edited and then buying them back, that was the issue. And this is like why they're getting sued.
Right.
Now,
Right.
VidAngel also claims so they think they can get away with this because of the Family Movie Act. And
Okay.
it's kind of like they it's like the episode of Parks and Rec where they're like, "Do you have a permit for this?" And Ron Swanson's like, "Just give him a piece of paper," and it says, and the guy reads it like, "This just says I can do whatever I want." Like that's how a VidAngel is.
By the way, that's one of my favorite Ron Swanson moments.
Yeah, it's with the Family Movie Act. That's like what they do. It's
Yeah.
like it's like they're like doing all this illegal stuff. They're like, no, 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 Family Movie Act, man. It's cool. It's cool.
Cool.
But it's not cool. And
No.
Hollywood didn't think it was cool, which is why they sued. So they were breaking their streaming contract, and then they were also selling edited DVDs and Blu-rays without Hollywood's permission.
Yeah, and
So
that's this thing, I don't know, maybe they have heard of this. It's relatively new idea called copyright.
yeah,
I
and
don't
that's
know. It's
honestly
pretty new, right? I mean, it's not like something that's been around for over 100 years.
no, 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 definitely not. And it definitely hasn't like run out and let things become public domain on certain properties, but whatever,
Right. Right.
whatever.
Correct.
So, um, so then at this point in the story, this is when Caleb and I started picking it up, and we released VidAngel Volume One: Stop Filtering. And what?
That was a good time. That was a
Yeah,
great
I
time.
mean, VidAngel, their campaign was called Safe Filtering, and obviously ours is like, nope. So we came up with ours called Stop Filtering. So VidAngel gets caught, and they know they're fucked. And so what they do is they begin to pivot in any way they can. So they begin making their own content, such as bad movies, for example, like Tim Timmerman, Hope of America.
Ugh, literally
And
the worst trailer I have ever seen in my entire life.
and so I want to mention something, and this was mentioned on the show, but I feel like it bears repeating. Caleb wouldn't watch the trailer,
I didn't
but
want to.
he said he was down to go see the movie for
Yep.
research purposes, which
Yep.
I feel did not make sense, but I'm
Listen.
still gonna bring that back up.
Listen, here's my reasoning. Let me explain myself. I want to explain why, okay? Would you just let me explain?
I will let you explain.
Okay, you're letting me explain. Okay. My reason is this. Trailers oftentimes highlight the cringe, whereas when you're in the movie theater, you have to find it.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying? So
I see what you did there.
it becomes a little bit more of an actual project. Whereas in a trailer, it's like, oh, well, they're pointing it out.
Got it.
It's
Okay.
less fun.
I understand that. Would you be down to rent this via VidAngel and watch it?
Not via VidAngel, but via literally any other streaming source.
I doubt it's on any other streaming.
Well, maybe I could create one and then illegally use it,
Ooh,
as a thing.
not a bad idea. Then VidAngel can sue someone. What a
Right.
change of pace that will be. Okay, so then around this time when Tim Timmerman's coming out, VidAngel starts up the save filtering movement, which we've kind of discussed. And they have this digital petition online, and like all online petitions, it does literally nothing.
Unironically does
Like
nothing.
it just does nothing. Like honestly, online petitions are such a joke. It's like they're collecting your email and your data, and that's about it. They're just a slightly nicer version of Facebook where you feel like you're accomplishing something without, I was about to say without sharing something, but never mind. It's exactly like Facebook in that sense. So
Indeed.
so the save filtering movement acts as a smokescreen to cover up for VidAngel violating their streaming rights by selling the movies. So VidAngel decides to virtue signal rather than own up to their mistake. And they just keep making things worse by fighting a quite literally a never-ending legal battle. I mean, we've done this is
And
our
a
fourth,
losing one at that.
this is our fourth show on this in like 3 years, and I've taken it maybe 4 years, and I've taken a year off. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
in 3 years.
yeah, in 3 years. So I'm just saying this has kind of gone on for a while.
Yeah, it's honestly to a point where it's like, listen, guys, might be time to hang it up,
Yeah,
okay?
exactly. So they create this moral high ground, once again, claiming family friendly values and using the innocence of children and sheltered teens as their banner.
Mainly the sheltered teens.
Mainly the sheltered teens. Like, well, let's be real. And so they keep claiming the Family Movie Act for the justification of its business practices. Like I said, once again, it's like, oh no, man, it's cool. Family Movie Act. I can do what I want. Like, Family Movie Act. So
Yeah.
eventually, yeah,
They have a very
eventually,
loose understanding of that act also, I'm
yeah.
sure.
So eventually, the Family Movie Act doesn't save them as much as they think because the website gets shut down for a while.
Right.
And then the site relaunches like 6 to 9 months later, somewhere around that target, with shows from companies that aren't suing them.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it's like, these guys haven't sued us yet. Let's see if they'll hang out with us. So then they launch a crowdfunding campaign as well, to get some more income and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah,
then
probably because 'cause they're super screwed.
yeah, so litigation keeps occurring and it starts getting worse. So then VidAngel, and this next one that we're talking about, this is in VidAngel Chapter 11. Um, VidAngel declares Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they use this to quote restructure,
Mhm.
but it's really to protect their company from the ongoing lawsuits.
Right.
So CEO Neil Harmon, he releases a video, and we threw a shade on this a while ago
Big
too, but
time.
we're gonna throw some more. I recap the shade that was thrown, and he's claiming VidAngel is not going away, and that the company has quote millions of dollars in the bank, and it's now generating millions in revenue,
Sure you
and
are.
it's stating that its goal was to reorganize around their new streaming mode. So before they didn't really have a quote streaming mode, but now they're like, oh no, we learned our lesson. We're gonna do this new thing. Please don't sue us. And so they
Stop it. We're already dead.
yeah, and so they kicked their old model to the curb. Like, and we'll get to that in a little bit about that. So naturally, I leave a comment on their blog, and I say you won't
Like you
last.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like a total douche. And I'm not one to leave like YouTube comments or tweets or anything like that. But like for this, I broke out of my shell just to let them know they won't last. To which CEO Neil Harmon replies, "Watch us." And then a quote from the commentary of The Art of War. Like he didn't get an actual quote, he got a commentary. like a pseudo Chinese general or something. Like, here's what he
Oh,
did.
man.
He's like, watch us, and then he's like, oh, what am I gonna do? I can't just say watch us. I gotta have a quote. So he runs to Google, types in like cool quotes or something like that, and then he pulls up a commentary of the Art of War, copy, paste, feels smug.
Got him.
Got him. He showed me. After I read that, I'm like, shit, a commentary on the Art of War. Fuck, he got me.
Yeah. And then you were
Man.
like, well, I guess I better watch him now.
Oh man, I better watch him. And I have been. I've been watching. So we covered all this in our volume 11 show, as I mentioned. What I did not know at the time what was happening during or after the announcement of the chapter 11, and I don't know how true this is, but this is just what I have heard. And I can't really confirm any of the sources. I'm trying to find news articles, but I can't. So this is rumor at best. I heard that VidAngel was petitioning people, and I think through their email or Facebook, which one, I'm not going to give them my email, and two, I don't have Facebook anymore. But they were petitioning people to buy shares of their company because it was like to help with the finances and all this other type of stuff. And what I also heard was they were marketing that as like a way to save the, once again, Family Movie Act and save filtering. It's like you're not just buying into their company, you're help saving this act. Once again, claiming a moral high ground and hiding behind the Family Movie Act.
Right.
And so, in addition to them just asking for, a shit ton of money and for everyone, they're like, yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, guys. By the way, our VidAngel credits, our buyback credits, or VidAngel bucks or whatever, yeah, we're not touching those anymore. So people that had like tons of VidAngel bucks stashed away in their accounts for selling movie backs and stuff like that, they were
Right.
fucked. Like they were just out that money. And it's like I feel bad.
I'd like to feel bad for him, but I just can't.
Yeah, but it's like one, you bought from VidAngel, and two, you bought from VidAngel.
Reason enough for me.
Yeah. So people were screwed out of these buyback credits, but whatever. The battle continues. The VidAngel keeps shoving off those legal battles that keep continuing.
Smart. It seems smart.
And they just have this habit of doing this. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do something really big. They'll come out with a really big fucking announcement, like millions of dollars in the bank, new streaming service, Tim Timmerman, movie coming out, and they'll just, and it's like they're just so ready to like let everyone know about like all this crazy stuff happening, and then they just kind of disappear, and they're like, oh, that legal battle, it's still there. I thought it would have been scared away by our first movie, but no.
Oh
Well,
no.
let's do a crowdfunding thing. Maybe if we raise a ton of money, they. So they keep shoving off their legal battles while creating their own mediocre content, such as Dry Bar Comedy, which is a stand-up series based in Utah around clean humor. And I'm willing to like give props for this. They also crowdfunded a $10 million TV series called The Chosen, which will be about Jesus.
Is it ever going to be released though? Because
Well, I don't know, but this $10 million TV series, this is the largest amount ever crowdfunded for a TV show, and the project is still in the works. So I'm willing to score a point for VidAngel for, doing well on that, for doing something that hasn't been done before, which does seem very much irregularly like them, given this current lawsuit.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought
Good
that was
on him.
kind of
Good
cool.
on him for that. We'll give
Good
him
on
props.
them. Now back to trashing them. So
Yeah, those
VidAngel
fuckers.
lawyers up against Hollywood once again. They lose. And they lose big. Big time. I mean, super big. And this is where we're at today. This is like present timeline, the darkest timeline, the one where Easy D is in the White House.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is now. And this is what we're getting at. So basically, short version of all of this. In June 2019, Los Angeles jury ordered VidAngel to pay over $62 million in damage. $75,000 for each of the 819 films that VidAngel
Ooh.
streamed, plus a $1 million fine for violating the Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Ouch.
Damn. And this is like from articles, but the main place I pulled from was Wikipedia. And I'm not going to go through and exactly fact check this because it's on all the articles, but I love the way it was phrased on Wikipedia. So, like all college students, I quoted it and and I'm just going to roll with it despite all the trash I've talked on Wikipedia in the past. So, VidAngel needs to pay out a cool 62 mil. And we're just going to keep referring
A cool 62 mil.
Yeah, we're just going to keep referring to the money that VidAngel needs to pay out for this lawsuit as a cool 62 mil. Because honestly, isn't that like the dopest phrase ever?
It really is, especially when you're $62 million in debt. Like
I
VidAngel.
know. Damn. So VidAngel needs to pay out, a cool 62 mil. However, that didn't stop VidAngel from doing what it does best, running from its problems and avoiding reality. So, so if and I'm not advertising this because I don't want people to go see it because I don't want VidAngel to get like clicks or whatever or like ranking improvements on their website. But on their blog, like they have a whole section dedicated to their legal battle. Now, when you have a whole section of your blog dedicated to your legal battle, it's just not a good sign.
Yeah,
It's
that
kind of like
generally would suggest you're not going to last.
Yeah, exactly. It's just terrible and it just screams trashy. It's like if Kim Kardashian had like I didn't even get a finish.
Sorry, you said
Like,
Kim Kardashian.
I know. It's like, oh man, maybe I'll just leave it at that. It's like if Kim Kardashian did anything. I mean,
well, I just every time I think of Kim, I think of our favorite guy, Kanye, or Ye,
Kanye.
as he likes to be called.
Oh boy.
And it just warms my soul and makes me laugh a little bit.
Yeah. So it's like I guess if Kim Kardashian did everything, I guess a comparison that we're going to draw right now.
Good old Kimmy.
Good old Kimmy. So it's just really bad. But their website, like their blog, I'm not gonna lie, kind of hilarious. So we're gonna go through two of these blog posts, Caleb and I, and we're not gonna read the whole thing because I mean it's long.
That's just too long.
But we are gonna read some of it, and we're gonna read some of it in a Dr. Phil voice. So
yes.
What is the Disney? So the Disney CEO was given a letter from Neil Harmon, the VidAngel CEO. So from one heartless CEO to another, this is a letter, and it's just I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of ridiculous or whatever. So it starts off just talking about like the court proceedings, blah blah blah, boring stuff that you might see on Judge Judy. But now here's like the good stuff where we start getting into the Dr. Phil voice. I'm gonna read this in like my best Dr. Phil impression I can muster. Let's review a few quick facts. VidAngel indisputably made your company and other Hollywood studios a profit. I think that's why most of them did not join Disney in suing us. 2, you sued us for 125 million for it. And the federal district court judge Burate, or whatever the darn tarnation his name is, commended both sides for an incredibly passionate fight. You won 62 million. We lost, at least for the moment. 3, Disney knows a trial and litigation to tens of millions to fight in 4 courts could have been avoided by selling VidAngel a license. Okay, breaking out of Dr. Phil right now. They had a license. And they decided to be like, oh no, American Family Act, and just went batshit crazy with it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they just like basically. Well, it's just that whole thing where you know they were taking advantage of the situation, right? And so it's like that. I don't know if your mom ever told you this, but like my mom always told me there's some people where if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like vidangel is that kid that was given an inch and he's taken a mile.
exactly. And then it starts getting into some raw data as they classify this. And so and this is the real numbers here.
Hmm.
Disney would have been 229,752 poorer had VidAngel never offered its content or on its service. Okay, let me repeat this number: $229,752 poorer. Okay, that's pocket change for the mouse.
Right. Right. I don't
Like,
even know if it's that for the mouse.
yeah, I mean,
That's like toilet paper for the mouse.
this is what this is like a this is what they paid uh Jeremy Reiner's assistant
Yeah.
for when they made Endgame. Not Jeremy
Yeah.
Reiner, his assistant.
Yeah.
Like that's okay, maybe that's a little too far. But
It's probably pretty accurate though, to be
that's
honest. I
probably pretty
mean,
accurate. It's pretty low on the totem pole as
yeah.
far as funds go for the mouse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so
That's like
then
a microphone holder.
yeah, it's
It's
it's a
nothing.
little it's a little ridiculous. And so they start going through this whole thing. Um Basically Neil starts taking stuff out of context. And he's trying to paint himself as the good guy, like he's this amazing, family-friendly spokesperson. Uh, trying to proclaim this great mountain of morality and this moral high ground, but it just doesn't really work. And it's more condescending than anything. It's like, dude, you're not gonna get anywhere with
Right.
this. And so then
Yeah.
finally, it gets to the end, which, to be honest, to me, this was the best. And he's like, here's what we propose. We understand you want to protect your intellectual property. And then I go through all this other stuff. But we are prepared to consider giving Disney, you, our dry bar comedy series.
Oh, and the mouse said, "Fuck that."
Oh, man. It's like, and he starts dropping some mad facts about dry bar comedy. That's the fastest growing brand in the world, which, like, that's pretty subjective right there. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if you could back that up, but then he backs it up with these numbers of 1.5 billion views to date. And,
Okay.
it's making millions. And it's like, well, here's the other thing. You're being sued for millions and
Yeah,
a lot
bro.
more millions than that. And
You
then,
you don't have. Yeah. You need to just stop.
yeah. And then they're like, oh, no, no, even better. You could publish this on its friendly family comedy on Disney Plus. So they already know where they're going to place this. Like once Disney picks this up, it's like Ben Angel's going to be part of the Disney Plus streaming service package. Like it's right there, baby. And so then the next part, right after this sentence about offering, the prodigal lamb to the slaughter of dry bar comedy,
Right.
it says, with the so-called debt settled. Now, I've noticed something in my day, and it's a very Utah specific thing that I have found. Every time someone says so-called, like they're really trying to discredit something,
Yeah, they
but
put like air quotes around it and
yes,
stuff.
so-called debt. You mean the so-called cool 62 mil? Like
Yeah.
it just
So-called money.
yeah. I mean, we violated the so-called law. I mean, it's shit like that. It's like they're trying to like discredit it, but it's like, no, this is what happened. This is the word. Words have meaning. You can't discredit it. It's there, man. Like that's the thing. That's the harsh reality.
Serious business.
And it's just a super common thing that I see in Utah, like constantly with business, because people are just so disconnected with so-called reality.
You're not wrong there. Not at all.
Yeah. So Anyway, that's basically the premise of the letter. Um, and it's pretty entertaining. But the real one that we're actually more excited about, which is sad that we're actually excited about this, is this other one on their blog called "Dear Haters, I Could Be Wrong," and it's not written by Neil Harmon. It's written by Jeff, which I'm assuming is his brother, cousin, or married into the family. I don't know.
Some guy.
Someone with the same last name.
Dad,
And
maybe? I don't know.
dad, I don't
Ran to his
know.
papa.
I don't know. Grangel's Papa.
He's like, he's like, "Pa, they're being mean."
All right, don't worry, son. I got this. Dear haters, I could be wrong. I
Oh,
mean,
good job, Dad. That didn't make any sense.
yeah, exactly. So, VidAngel posted this blog to address their haters and their uneducated opinion about the lawsuit. But instead of actually defending themselves and telling their side of the story, they just decided to throw shade at a Twitter screenshot.
Yeah, and not just that, but a Twitter screenshot with 12 likes.
Yeah, exactly.
12.
It's like it's just like going after like a random person on
Yeah,
the
a random
internet.
person with 12 likes.
Yeah. I mean, they could have at least, they could have cropped that part out because they did go through and edit this. The tweet said, and normally I kind of go back and forth on IP laws, but god damn do I hate VidAngel. But they edited goddamn to have the vowels with little asterisk stars.
Yeah, because that means we don't know what it says now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm protected. I feel much better.
Oh, man. As a sheltered teen,
As a sheltered teen,
I feel very, very, very protected right now.
I feel morally superior.
Is it a safe space?
And so they're throwing shade on this random Twitter follower. And this blog post starts off with VidAngel has taken some pretty brutal, uneducated attacks in the last week from these social media on social media who hate, and hate is in all caps, skipping slash filtering. And then it says, in like air quotes, criminals, theft, pirates.
So-called criminals,
Yeah, these so-called
so-called
criminals,
theft,
so-called
and
theft,
so-called
so-called pirates.
pirates.
I mean,
Right.
honestly, pirates is kind of a cool label. I don't think they deserve it.
No, I don't like that label for them.
No, no. So they just throw up a Twitter screenshot, but they never really address any of this stuff. It's just there.
Right.
It's like, by the way, someone hates us. Here's a picture of them hating on, and then their
And
persecution complex just intensifies.
them and their 12 friends don't like us. Now, we have been persecuted by
And,
these 13 people.
well, one of these people in this picture, like their Twitter file, it's a picture of Jesus with laser eyes.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, so they don't like superhero Jesus?
I know, seriously. So then it's like all these quotes from the judge, from the court and things like that, and they're like basically saying like, well, we could be wrong about this, this ruling or whatever,
Right.
and you can always appeal it. And it's just like a constant theme of that happening throughout the blog with the same judge and everything. And this kind of reminds me of like when I would have people move out, like when I was working in a housing office, and they like owed money because like they try to skip out on their lease or
Sure.
whatever, or things like that. This would be like,
Their
well,
so-called lease.
their so-called lease, and their so-called contract that they so-called signed. And it's like, and they're like, I don't want to pay this or whatever. Do I have to pay this? I'm like, well, I could be wrong, but the contract says you got to pay. But you're
Seems
always,
like there's a ruling here.
yeah, but you're always welcome to take it up with our lawyer, which I always said. And it's kind of like that. It's like, well, I could be wrong. It's like a nice way of saying, I'm not really wrong. I could be. Odds are very slim though. But here's the thing: you're always welcome to fight a lawyer on it. But best of luck. And that's kind of what's happening here. They keep losing
Yeah. Well, and the
constantly.
funny thing is it's kind of one of those things with VidAngel too, like, and it's not just them, but one of the things that I've noticed is that they, in this case in particular, as I've obviously been reviewing a lot of this stuff with you and independently, It seems like every single one of their responses is always so smug.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
it's like,
they always think they're on the right side of history about.
well, and it's not even just like about being on the right side of history. It's just they think that they're just superior, I guess, in some ways. And so it's just like they'll come into it and they're like, "Listen, we hope you'll be a little bit less judging." Cross your fingers emoji. Listen, guy, we don't. First of all, we don't want your emojis. Number one. Number two, easy on the smugness, you dickwad.
I mean, yeah, they are rather smug about everything they do, and it's just kind of ridiculous.
Well, and it's like,
The smugness, and the best part about it is it's like they're being like really smug to Disney. They're like, yeah, with the so-called debt, and Disney's like,
listen, we made you money, guys. We made you
yeah,
like 1/1,000,000th of your current fortune. So,
it's
so
it's
give
pretty
us some props.
well, it's pretty ridiculous because it's like they're being so smug, and it's like this so-called debt, and it's like, yeah, by the way, you owe us 62 mil, a cool 62 mil, I might add. It's
Yeah,
like that's not really the like with that amount of money, and like because it could have been 125, it could have gone way higher, and they're still being smug about it. They're like, yeah, it's like pure denial at this point, and it's
yeah,
kind of more sad than anything. I mean, I don't really feel sad enough to stop making fun of them,
sure,
but it
sure.
but it is sad.
Yeah,
So
sad, but in a funny way.
exactly. So anyway, um, last paragraph here or whatever, starts talking about the haters or whatever, and it says, "I'm pretty sure we can ignore all the self-righteous comments accusing others of being criminals or thieves." And this is like in response to the judge
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as
Saying
well.
he could be wrong or whatever. But like the thing is like honestly, if you're a judge and it's there's no precedence for this, it's like, yeah, he could be wrong. He's trying to not be smug, unlike you dickbags.
Yeah. So it says he might be right in the end. We might be right in the end. In a case of the first impression, we don't know until we finish moving through the court system. And it's more like until the court system finish moving through you.
Yeah, it's definitely they're not moving through anything.
Yeah.
they
And it's like,
they are a movable object meeting a very unstoppable force.
yeah. And it says this is a civil disagreement, not a criminal case. And it isn't over. And we know it's not over because, I mean, I'm predicting we're going to have probably about maybe three more Vin Angel shows.
At least.
I think we're gonna have one.
In a perfect world, at least three.
Yeah. Now, can the Supreme Court deny a case or something like that?
They can, yeah, they can do a lot of things like that. I mean, the interesting thing about it though is that, and people often misunderstand this, but the Supreme Court, they're not there to create laws or to even do anything like this. That's Congress. That's their whole function. The
Oh, that's
Supreme
what
Court is
Congress
there to
does.
interpret the law.
Okay.
So Congress makes it, and then the Supreme Court is there to interpret it. Now, in these special cases, their job is to take existing law and then basically say, okay, this is where what this means, this is what this means, this is where you can invoke the Family Freedom or whatever act or whatever they're invoking again. Like that's what their function is essentially to say, okay, this is what we know about the law. This is how it's interpreted. This is the way that it should be interpreted. If they want to change the law, like if they didn't want to change the law, they shouldn't be talking to the Supreme Court. They shouldn't be talking to any courts. They should be talking to Congress.
Yeah.
And
Now,
it's just clearly but in all of their smugness, they forgot that that's who they need to talk to.
yeah. So they're gonna keep going through this interpretation and thinking that this this my gosh, the family I always forget the name of this.
The Here, it's up here. The Family Movie Act.
Family Movie Act.
Yeah,
They're always gonna stand behind the Family Movie Act and act like it's their get out of jail free card.
right.
So I predict we got about probably three more Mid Angel shows before we're finally done. We'll have two more legal battle type of things. One will be like either goes to the Supreme Court or is rejected. I'm thinking it's gonna get
hmm
rejected
I'm
somehow.
thinking it probably will
And
because it's
then
not it's not a big enough thing.
yeah, and then and then we'll have probably a full recap episode, like once they close down, and it will be called
Right.
it'll be called the Rise and Fall of VidAngel.
Can't wait for
Is
that.
is what I'm thinking. So I think we'll have two more litigation episodes, and then a Rise and Fall of VidAngel episode. So
Indeed.
that's what I'm excited for. But until we get to that point, let's talk about some of these comments on this. Dear haters, I could be wrong. Straight from the VidAngel website.
Oh man, these are so cringe, dude.
So the
Well,
first
they're
thing,
either really reasonable or they're super cringe.
oh yeah. So the first thing I noticed, and this is more in the super cringe camp, it it like someone said, any particular reason why you guys reposted someone else's post that contains the Lord's name in vain? It's
Right.
one thing to see this junk on Yahoo all the time, but was not expecting this. So then they went through and edited it and put in the little stars. And I'm like, see this junk on Yahoo? It's like,
Yeah. First of all, who uses Yahoo?
well, it reminds me of like The Simpsons. It's like, we'd expect that type of language at Denny's, but not here. Like, Yahoo is the Denny's of search engines, news, and email.
Denny's. We'd expect this kind of language at Denny's, but not here.
But not here. I
Oh my
expect this on
gosh.
Yahoo, but not on VidAngel.
Oh man, so good. So good. And then my favorite is like when he like edits it out and puts the asterisks and then people freaking call him out again. They're like, really? An asterisk instead of O and A? Thanks for the Clear Play TV Guardian quality edit. It's like good thing, and then it's like, but VidAngel filters work better than that, I guess.
It was
And
like
it's just
he threw. It was like he was negging. He
yeah,
threw out
yeah,
an insult and then gave a compliment. Like, what are you hoping to get? Like a Nickmo with VidAngel?
yeah.
Come
Right,
on.
right. Oh
Oh
man.
man. And then it's like
Um,
and then another guy. I was thinking of saying there's just no way to remove the words completely or entirely, or at least put a black bar over them. It's like they could have put a black bar. They could have
yeah,
filtered it like with Photoshop. They could have done so many things, but they didn't. And that's just like their legal stuff. They could have done so many things. They could have owned up to shit, but they didn't. And
and
that's the
they
point.
won't.
Exactly.
Well, and then I mean, and then there's the people that are like this one right here. This one was hilarious to me because the response was so spot on. This guy goes, "Oh, I'm really confused about why somebody would hate VidAngel so badly. Do they just love Hollywood so much that the idea of somebody quote unquote skipping on a movie drives them insane?" And it's like, no, dude, nobody gives a shit. But guess what? It's illegal.
Yeah. And
Like,
everyone thinks that this is about some moral high ground, some
yeah,
crusade for purity, and
yeah.
it's really not. I mean, with us, it is. We're
I
fighting
mean,
against that
sure,
to
but
be
that's different.
real.
We're not. I mean, we're
Yeah,
not. We're not
yeah,
Angel though.
yeah. We're not
Uh,
Vidangel.
I
No,
love the comment though. Like the person, somebody replies and goes, "It's not and I won't read the whole comment because it's really long. But he's like, "It's the fact that they don't have the authorization to edit the material." And it's like,
yes,
and because of that, they're making a profit from the hard work of others without the compensation or even a notice to the creators. That's the big thing is where it's
indeed.
like if they're because again movies fall under art, like we've talked about this before. Movies fall under art, and it's like when people because like okay, uh I don't think it's this way on Facebook, but on certain alternative social media platforms, if you use like somebody else's music or somebody's art and you don't give them the proper credit and compensation for that, you can
YouTube, for
get sued.
example,
Yeah,
YouTube
exactly.
with music and things like that.
Right, right. A lot of those like a lot of those like people that repost other people's music without having it be like on the official channel or whatever, or without the proper permissions. Those, I mean, those videos get taken down so that YouTube doesn't get sued.
It either gets taken down or it has to be credited. Because did
Right.
I did a project a while ago. My anti-smoking video that I put up, and I had the entertainer playing in it, but I had to
Hmm.
credit the entertainer
Right. Right.
in it, and then just anything like that, you got to credit
You
the
have to.
source.
Yeah.
And because I had the entertainer, it's like I couldn't get paid for the views. But let's be
Right.
real, I didn't want it for like the views or money. It was like I wanted to put my art out there and people to get a kick out of it and just kind of giggle.
Right.
So,
And then okay, one more for me really quick. This is
oh
my
no,
favorite, my absolute favorite comment. Absolute favorite from this whole thing. Because it's so funny. Guy goes, "It seems un-American to force people to watch material they don't want to see if there is a simple remedy." And my response is, nobody's forcing you to watch it.
no, and I feel like this is what everyone thinks. They're like afraid that they're gonna see, nudity in movies, but but wholesome violence
Yeah,
acceptable.
that's my favorite one too. Wholesome violence is okay. It's
Wholesome
like,
violence. I love throwing that on
what
there.
the hell does that even mean? Wholesome? What does
Wholesome
that even
violence.
mean?
And it's like, not a swear word, but someone gets decapitated, that's okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's
mean,
really cool.
just shit like that. And that's the kind of audience that, VidAngel caters to.
Right, right.
And it's a little ridiculous. So it's like a very mixed moral spectrum. And
Yeah,
it's
well,
ridiculous. But this guy here who's like, it's un-American to force people to watch material that they don't want to see. And it's like, well, yeah, that is un-American. Here's the thing: no one's forcing you to watch that. I mean,
right.
there are things I don't want to see, but I take my own measures to avoid them. Like, if there's a movie where I know there's gonna be in there that like I don't want to see, like I don't know, for example, the words directed by Christopher Nolan, I
Right,
don't see it.
right.
I
I
just
just
don't see it. And
I mean,
like
that's the
real
main thing that I would avoid.
yeah, and real life, there are things I definitely don't want to see. So, like social media, for example, I got tired of everyone sharing Donald Trump shit, and so I got rid of social media. Now, that wasn't the main reason, but it's like I don't want to be bogged down by seeing whatever Easy D is up to today. So I don't have social media to deal with that. It's like
Right,
I take my own measures. I think
right.
people are lazy and they're like, well, I don't want to see that in a movie. Well, I don't want to see, Easy D's tweets. So I got rid of Twitter. Quit being lazy. Like you have your own measures that you can
Exactly,
take.
exactly. Well, and it's the same thing, like, we talked about this before too. It's like, for instance, um, I legitimately have no desire to see Game of Thrones, okay? Um, I just don't, like, it just doesn't seem interesting to me. Read some of the books. It's okay, like, I can see why it's appealing, it's just not my thing, right? But it's not like somebody's gonna come into my house and be like, "You have to watch this now," and you have to watch it with all the smut,
They like hold
because
a
it's
gun
just
up to your head. It's like you're gonna watch
yeah,
the scene and everything.
yeah,
And
and
by the
see, and
way,
that's
they say a swear word here.
but that's the thing to me is it's like nobody's doing like, it's not un-American to produce something and then want the rights to it. That's in fact pretty American.
Yeah, I say that's extremely American.
I mean, it seems to me like it's ridiculously American to create something and want it to be yours.
Yeah,
Just,
like,
my 2 cents on that one.
yeah. No, agreed, agreed. And it's, I don't know. This is just their audience. They don't, and they don't really have like, you know, a full grasp on the legal case because,
No, they
Vid
absolutely don't.
VidAngel keeps throwing out these smoke screens and saying things like, we're a good family friendly, value driven company. And they keep hiding behind their get out of jail free card or their pass to do whatever they think they want, which
Yeah, it's
is
stupid.
yeah, and it's ridiculous. And so that's what they keep doing. They keep hiding behind that. But here's the thing, and this is the bottom line, literally the bottom line, because the bottom line they have to pay out. Closing
Yep,
facts:
yep.
VidAngel owes a cool 62 mil.
And
And
they're gonna have to pay it one way or another.
yeah, they're going to fight all the way up to the Supreme Court just to continue their business rather than own up to their mistake.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, I think it's better just to eat shit.
Dude, yeah, just eat the 62 mil, like, it sucks, but eat it and then just focus on Tim Timmerman
But here's
and
the
his many
thing:
sequels.
I don't think they have the 60. I mean,
I don't think they do either. I
let's
think
be
it's gonna
real.
yeah.
I
I don't think they do either. You're right.
Yeah, I would guess maybe maximum 12 mil. Max.
Listen, their dry bar comedy though is worth a
Ooh,
lot of money.
ooh, yeah.
Disney will want that.
What an offering. What do you say, Mickey? You want Oh
This is
gosh.
this is when I wish I could do a Mickey voice.
Oh man. I can't do a very good one. Oh boy, 60 tri-bar
Yeah,
comedy. What a
yeah.
choice. Toss up. Like that's the best Mickey I got.
Yeah, I did hate. I'm not even gonna try because it's just terrible.
Oh boy. Oh. Anyway, that's our show. I want to thank Caleb Hedden for coming on.
Always.
And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Cult of MCS1 podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a rating on Apple Podcast, Google Play, or whatever podcasting platform you listen to. For more information about the show notes and links, head over to thecultofmcs1.com or search AOL keyword MCS1.